The Ghana Gas Company says by the end of March, which is just 2 weeks away, it will increase production to its full capacity of 150 million metric standard cubic feet of gas.
We supply to VRA about 74 million standard cubic feet of gas per day. And we at Ghana Gas are now ready and able to supply VRA with 140 million standard cubic feet of gas per day.
But although this is expected to halve the cost of power production in Ghana, it will not lead to any substantial increase in generational capacity. At least we don't have any assurances to that effect. So what happens to the extra gas then? Why can't the gas be used to increase power generation so we can all have some relief from this power crisis situation that we are in? This is today's big story with me, Stephen Enti. The Ghana Gas Company, according to the Petroleum Minister Emmanuel Kofi Boa, will be starting full commercial operations by the end of March. But he also says that will be based on the capacity of thermal plants in Ghana to absorb the gas that will be produced. The Petroleum Minister was in Parliament today to meet with the Government Assurances Committee over its production timelines. Dr. Sipa Yankee, who is CEO of the Ghana Gas Company, was with the Minister and he answered some questions.
The first phase of the Western Corridor gas project has two phases. The first one comprises an offshore pipeline, about 50 kilometers offshore pipeline, which connects the FPSO to the gas plant in Atuabo. And you have a gas processing plant with a capacity of 150 million standard cubic feet of gas per day. And then a 20-inch diameter pipeline, about 111 kilometers from Atuabo to Abuazi, with some stations, one at Esiama, the Esiama distribution station, the Takrady regulatory and metering station, which is quite close to the VRA facility. All these have been completed. And as I speak to you right now, we are producing gas, and the plants at Abuazi, as I speak to you right now, are all relying on gas from Atuabo. Along the chain, we also have some block valves, also part of our facilities. So right now, we're producing about 74 million, we're supplying to VRA about 74 million standard cubic feet of gas per day. And we at Ghana Gas are now ready and able to supply VRA with 140 million standard cubic feet of gas per day, enough to generate over 550 megawatts of power. But right now, because of TICO, which is now being fixed, we hope that when TICO Unit 2, now Unit 1 is on stream now. So far as the VRA is concerned, the TICO 1, which is owned by VRA, is currently working at about 50 million cars of gas per day, between 50 and 55. So the two plants at T1 are working very well.
Right, we will be speaking to Dr. Sipa Yankee much later in the program, and we're trying right now to get onto the telephone lines Dr. Amin Adam, who is Executive Director of the Africa Center for Energy Policy. When we raise him, we will bring him on the line. Now, if you've just joined us on today's big story, we are analyzing the announcement by the Ghana Gas Company that effective 1st of April, it will be producing at its peak of 150 million metric standard cubic feet of gas per day. Now, already the Ghana Gas Company tells us that the Volta River Authority, VRA, plant at Atuabo is Abuazi, I beg your pardon, is already using about 74 million standard cubic metric feet of gas from the Ghana Gas Company. So the extra gas that we will get, what is it expected to be used for? We'll be doing some analysis on this, but let's go back to Dr. Sipah Yankee's discussions, explanations in Parliament earlier. Now,
T2 has also got 2 units, and one is now functioning. The other one hopefully will be brought on stream by sometime in April. And when that happens, we should be able to supply VRA about 110 million standard cubic gas per day. And that will go to help us solve somehow the current problems that we're having with the power situation. Right now, as I speak to you, the commissioning is ongoing. We are about to complete the commissioning of the plant. We had, as is normally the case with such plants, some few challenges here and there. But as the Honorable Minister said, I'm happy to announce that the key punch list items have been addressed. And the plant is in a very efficient, it's in a very good condition now to even process up to 140, 150 million standard cubic of gas per day. The only challenge that we have right now is that we've not been able to test the plant to its maximum capacity because of the non-availability of generating facilities to receive the gas. But we are working with VRA, and we're developing some plans to enable us do that for about, say, 2-3 days continuously. And after that, we will then be satisfied about the integrity of the entire plant. I also want to say that besides the production of lean gas, we are also producing LPG. Right now, we're doing about 300 tons of LPG per day, which it's being supplied to the markets. And then also we are doing a condensate production at the rate of about 54 tons per day. All these figures, we hope, will be increased when we start doing the full commercial operations. Right now, we are just at commissioning stage. So all these products are commissioning products. But when we begin to do full commercial production, all these figures will go up. And we hope that that will help solve some of the problems that we have right now.
Right, let's get onto the telephone line. Kojo Opoku, who is an energy expert, to help us with some analysis. Now, good evening, Ms. Opoku, and thanks for your time. Good evening, Kojo Opoku, and thanks for your time.
Hello?
Good evening, and thanks for joining us on today's big story.
Hi, can you hear me? Because I can hardly hear you.
I can, right. Let me try and raise my voice a bit to see whether you can hear. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
how are you?
I am fine, thank you. Now, we have been promised now and then. I mean, there are times that we've had to rotate the commercial starting production date, rotate it about. Now, the Ghana Gas Company is saying that 1st April, full stream, it's going to produce an extra 75 million, which will bring it to its full capacity of 150 million. It does appear the dynamics suggest that the increase in production might not necessarily affect the current generational shortfall. Is that what it is?
I have to say, can your people call me back? Because I don't know if you can hear me clearly, but
right.
I
you
have
cannot.
difficulty
right.
hearing the question.
All right, so Kojo Opoku, we will call you back and see whether we can get a good reception. We also have on the other telephone line Dr. Amin Adam, who is the Executive Director of the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ASAP. He's joining us now. Good evening, sir.
Hello, can you raise your voice a little?
Good evening, sir, and thanks for joining us on today's big story.
Hello?
Good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Right.
Good
thanks.
evening.
Good evening, and thanks for your time. Now, Ghana Gas Company has told us that they will produce at full capacity of 140 to 150 million metric standard cubic feet of gas. Should we be excited about this?
Well, I think, first of all, we must commend the team in Ghana Gas, led by Dr. Sipah Yankee.
Right.
I mean, I was one of the people who were very critical of him as far as this project is concerned. And so if he has been able to get the project through to this level, he deserves our commendation. And I'd like to commend him and his team for chalking this success. But as to whether we should be happy, my answer is mixed. First, because the gas is available now. When we didn't have gas, we had difficulty, producing power as a result of shortage of gas. We have no money to buy light crude oil, and so we are challenged, as far as meeting our demand for power is concerned. And now, upon the completion of the gas project, we have lots of gas stranded. Okay, gas is stranded at Asabu, at Takoradi. Yes, we need gas in Tema for Asogli, for the thermal plant 1, and then when the Tone thermal plant 220 megawatts is completed, and that is one of the projects we are looking up to resolving the short-term challenges in the power sector. That will also need gas. Unfortunately, we cannot take the gas from Takoradi to Tema, because that mechanism for a reverse flow of the gas has not been provided at the moment. So we must be happy, yes, we have gas now, but to what extent can we use the gas? If they are able to produce up to 140 million standard cubic feet, that is what Abuazi needs. But Abuazi, is not functioning. Or not all the plants there are functioning. And so you are still going to have some gas stranded. And therefore, our inability to, carry the gas to Tema so that the plants there can also have reliable gas supply as a result of Nigeria's failure to provide gas to us as reliable and consistent as we need. That is going to be the challenge that we have.
So what makes it difficult or impossible to transport the gas from Atuabo to Tema so that Asogli can have some of it?
Yes, I mean the original plan was not to link Atuabo to Abuazi.
Okay.
Because if it was part of the plan, it would have been costed. It would have been part of the project, the scope of the project. Unfortunately, this is why some of us have attributed the link to this poor planning. We knew that we needed gas in Tema, and most of our gas plants, including the new ones that we are doing, are located in Tema, and yet we were doing the pipeline to terminate at Abuazi in the interim, and then later on we extended to Eastern region, Central region, to be able to exploit our natural resource deposits in those areas. Why we did not decide to put in phase 1 the plan to configure the pipeline so that we can reverse the gas through the West African gas pipeline to Tema in order to meet our growing supply in Tema as we put up new generation plants in that area. Baffles me up till now.
Now,
there's another issue which I think is very important and which I think we should be worried about. The gas project was funded with a loan from China.
Chinese
but it was
development.
securitized against oil revenue. And as we speak today, even though Ghana Gas has supplied some gas to VRA is yet to pay for that gas. And so next year, when the commencement of payment of the debt is due, gas will not have brought in significant revenue to pay the debt. And so we will have to fall on oil revenue, which goes to the budget to finance educational infrastructure, to finance road infrastructure, to finance agricultural modernization.
And this same revenue, because of the challenge of the reduction in crude prices globally, it means that we are getting less revenue, less than by about $700 million.
Yes. Our revenue is because of the
right.
You know that oil prices are cyclical.
That's right.
So it is possible the market will rebound and prices will pick up. So that can be not a good issue going forward into next year and the year after. But what I'm saying is that if VRA is not able to pay for the gas, and that has been the challenge VRA has had, they have not been able to pay for crude oil they have been buying, as a result of which they haven't been able to supply enough. Last year they were supposed to bring in 17 cargoes, they brought in only 10 cargoes. They couldn't get money to bring in all the cargoes. And of the 10 cargoes, the government assisted them to bring in only 2. And so they have financial challenges, as a result of which they are not able to even pay for the gas, Ghana Gas is supplying to them. And if this continues, I'm afraid whether Ghana can sustain their operation to be able to supply gas to VRA. The last issue, which I think is also important, is that we are bringing in an emergency power batch, 250 megawatts from Dubai, and that is to be stationed, around Abuazi. The total gas requirement for the batch is 85 million standard cubic feet a day. So if Abuazi requires 140 million standard cubic feet, and 185 will be used to fire the 250 megawatts, because you cannot bring in an emergency batch and leave it idle.
That's right.
You will have to, redirect the gas meant for Abuazi to run the plant. So Abuazi will be left with only 66 million.
So it means that there are quite a lot of questions to ask of the Ghana Gas Company how this dynamics is going to work.
Hello?
Right, I'm saying that this means that there are a lot of questions that the Ghana Gas Company will have to answer about how the supply is going to be shared with the emergency barge and then the Abuazi plans as well.
Yes, I think it's very important to ask that question. And also to ask VRA, whether VRA, when they give that gas to the barge, they can be able to buy light crude oil to complement the limited gas they will have from Asabu, in order to ensure that our traditional, more consistent plants are operating.
Right, Dr. Amin, we're grateful for your time on today's Big Story. I must say that we have made a lot of efforts to get to the Volta River Authority and Gridco, who, because of the sensitive, they tell me, the sensitive nature of this discussion, they would like to defer comment on it till later. Energy expert Kojo Opoku is back on the line. Kojo, I hope that we hear you clearly this time.
Yes, I can hear you, so I'm hoping you can hear me.
I can hear you.
I could hear the discussion you were having with the gentleman also.
Great. So you want to make a quick comment on that one. I noticed clearly that he commended the Ghana Gas Company for completing its production timelines and setting 1st April as when they are going full commercial production.
Well, I'm a bit confused what the commercial production and what they said last year when they said that they were basically at full capacity, what the difference is. But let's assume that they are now, all the tests that they are doing, and they are now 100% confident that they don't have any hitches. So they are now, the maiden date that they've given for themselves is April. It's commendable, but to me, it's just a bit conflicted.
And you think it's just rhetoric, right?
I wouldn't say it's rhetoric, but we've had, there's been other publications which says that they were going to be full by December last year, and they said they've been doing 74, they're now going to do 150. To me, like I said, it's neither here nor there. I mean, it's commendable if they're saying they're doing 150 from April. I mean, by all means, we would be happy that they are able to do 150 and be able to sustain the 150 million MMCF that they said they're going to do. The little bit I want to add to what the gentleman said is that he mentioned that the power ship that was coming was going to get gas from the Ghana Gas. I don't think that's
he said they will need gas, so he didn't expressly say that they will get the gas from the Ghana Gas.
Coming in will use HFO. I think from the discussion we've had on this platform with the ministry, the ministry did clarify that the first tenure of the barge or the ship coming in is going to use liquid fuel, which is either HFO or diesel.
That's true.
And then after some time, I think after 2 years or something, it will now be converted into gas. So for now, because you see, there's one thing that people don't tend to understand when it comes to gas. Gas, as we all know it, is gas. It is not something that you can just move from one place to another.
To the other.
So when there is a pipeline which is being built from the Ghana Gas, where Atubua gas plant to Tico, okay?
Yeah.
That is the only pipeline that exists now where the gas can flow. there isn't any plans in the pipeline, or there isn't any plans on the drawing board to build any other pipeline immediately. So if you bring an emergency barge or a power ship that is producing 250, you cannot just channel gas to it. You know, there is a lot of planning and a lot of engineering that goes into supplying gas to a ship.
And that will also require an upgrade of the current infrastructure if that becomes part of the plan.
Yes, exactly. All that engineering work that goes in. So there isn't any such thing on paper. So it's not that simple to just bring a ship and then supply gas to it. You know, because the gases don't go in cylinders. These gas goes in compressed pipelines.
So Mr. Opoku, from the discussion we are having now, the dynamics appear to suggest that this increase in production of gas from the Ghana Gas Company won't directly affect the current generational capacity. How should we take this?
Well, you see, if TICO, which is the plant that the gas is meant for, at present, they said they've completed the expansion. So TICO is now doing 340 megawatts. The only comfort we have is that without Ghana Gas, TICO was relying on the West African gas pipeline. So if the gas from Nigeria is not coming, or is not coming as it should be, then TICO will not run at potential. Now we are 100% bank on that TICO, with 150 mmcf coming from Atobua gas plant, TICO is going to be able to run the 330, the 340 that it is installed capacity now. So at least with TICO, Ghanaians can be rest assured that if the plants are maintained well and there are no problems with the plants, gas is not going to be an excuse.
Right, Mr. Opoku, I'll have you hold. I beg your pardon. We have been joined on the line by the CEO of Ghana Gas Company, Dr. Sipa Yankee. It's critical that we speak to him. Dr. Yankee, good evening, and thanks for your time on today's big story.
Yeah, good evening to your listeners.
Right, now, in Parliament today, you said that the Ghana Gas Company is expected to produce at its full capacity of between 140 and 150 million metric standard cubic feet. You also said that TICO is currently not on full stream to use the gas from the Ghana Gas Company. Does it mean you're expecting VRA's plant at Abuazi to use this extra 75 or so million you are expecting on 1st of April?
Yes, thank you. So it is the VRA plant, that's TAPCO. The two units have been working for the past several weeks.
That's right.
And they have been operating. It is TICO which I think they had some work, being undertaken, and they have actually come on full stream. But luckily, one of the units of TICO, I think, is beginning to take some gas from us, and you're hoping that.
But you are not able to tell us exactly how much they are taking from you.
So far, as at this evening, right now, we are supplying about 74 billion standard cubic feet of gas to the plant in Abuazi.
Abuazi, okay.
VRA takes the maximum 60 million.
Okay.
They've been taking about 54 million, and they're still doing that. They've been doing that for the past several weeks. And then TICO now is taking about 20 thereabouts, 15 thereabouts. So on the whole, right now, we are supplying the plants in Abuazi, that's the VRA plants, TAPCO, both the units and one of the units of TICO. We currently supplying about 74 million cubic of gas per day. We are hoping that when TICO Unit 2 comes on stream, we should be able to be doing about, say, 110 million scraps of gas per day.
Right now,
so all the plants in Abuazi are all running on gas. Being processed by Ghana National Gas Company.
Okay, so I mean, you are producing at full. If you start producing at full capacity on the 1st of April, it is also conditional on whether the thermal plants have the capacity to use the gas that is coming in. What everyone expects is for the increased gas production to positively impact power generation. But it appears you cannot give us that guarantee Tell me, what happens if you produce extra gas which TICO and VRA have no capacity to use?
You know, my job as CEO of Ghana Gas is to ensure that we are able to process enough gas to feed the starving, plants at Abuazi. Now, if I produce enough gas and I cannot take it, that is unfortunate. But what we are doing now is that we also are working with the West African Gas Company, WAPCO, to enable us tie into their pipeline so I can have a reverse flow system whereby gas from Atambo can be reverse flowed to Tema.
I see.
To also feed some of the plants in Tema. And we are currently in discussions with them, and they're hoping that the next few weeks shall come to conclusion. And I think that the whole process will not take that long, between 3 to 6 months, to do the reverse flow.
But Dr. Yankee, this reverse flow might need a lot of re-engineering and an investment into expanding the infrastructure.
It might take between 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
Especially if you're only just transporting about 60 million scabs of gas per day. If you're doing more than that, then that might take much longer time because you will need a compressor, and this is a long lead item which will take some time to store.
Right.
So hopefully, we believe that you may not need to do more than 60 million per day, and that means that can shorten the time period within which to do the reverse flow of gas from Atambo to Tema.
Right. So between now and your commercial operation date of 1st April, is there the possibility you might not be able to meet your deadlines and actually start commercial production on this date?
You know, Ghana Gas is ready to start commercial operations tonight.
Okay.
Provided there are generating facilities to receive the gas. We are ready to start even now, this evening. We've been ready for the past several weeks. That we're hoping that VRA, not VRA, the TICO will get the second unit working, so that at least we can supply the plants in Abuazi with at least 110 million scabs of gas, per day.
Right.
And when that is done, I believe that we should be able to add to the solution of the current problems that we have. It's unfortunate at the time when the plants were working. The challenge that we had was that we're not getting enough gas from Nigeria. And now that you have available gas in Ghana, we have this challenge. But I know that TAPCO is working beautifully, and TICO is now working to get a second unit also functional.
Back running, right.
Back running. So once that happens, I think we will actually
experience some relief from all this.
To the resolution of the problem that we have right now.
Right. Dr. Sipa Yankee, we are grateful, extremely grateful for your time on today's Big Story. I'm afraid, Kojo Opoku, we might not be able to return to you because our time is up. But thanks, gentlemen, for joining us on the show, and to you for making time to be with us on today's Big Story. We'll be right back with an interactive segment. Don't go away.